And so that afternoon, this gentleman, this scientist who worked for Lockheed Skunk Works, tried it, and lo and behold, he had this full sort of astral experience where his subtle body launched up out of the physical body up through the ceiling of his house and the roof of his house and went up into the atmosphere. And he actually saw and then bumped into an extraterrestrial spacecraft that was up in the atmosphere that was apparently shifted into that realm, into the etheric astral realm that was the same as the realm of his body. And at the time, he called me. He was not so much interested in being a witness for the Disclosure Project, which he subsequently did become, but he was more interested in understanding what happened, and that is that when he approached this craft, he bumped into it, and it moved it. And he says, but I was not in my physical body. I was floating in my astral body. How did that move an extraterrestrial spacecraft? It clearly was a large disc-shaped craft, and it had these beams on board. And then he popped into the inside of the craft, and he said that the ETs looked at him like, my God, why don't you watch where you're going? Like it was some kind of cosmic faux pas. And it was rather hilarious. And with that, he became so sort of unnerved because he felt very embarrassed that he had clumsily slammed into and then gone into this craft, that he went straight back into his body. And he didn't understand how, first of all, they could see him in his astral body, and B, how his astral body could hit the craft or interface with the craft and make it actually not move it much, but just sort of jolt it a little bit. And I said, well, look, when an extraterrestrial civilization it travels through interstellar space, and even when they're hovering in our atmosphere and sometimes hovering on the ground in front of you, they don't have to be materialized like a 747 or a car. They can be in this energy form, that's this etheric, astral sort of form of energy, which may not even be visible to the naked eye, and you could walk straight through it and not know it was there. But in this dimension where there is thought density and where there is astral form, if they're resonating in that form, it is of a similar density to your astral body and can interact with it, and they can see you and you can see them. And this is why many people have had these amazing contact experiences within the meditative state and within the astral lucid dreaming state of the lucid dream, where you're awake within the dream and flying with your body somewhere. And I have personally had many of these. So I think that this, makes complete sense once you understand the absolute necessity of being a transdimensionally competent civilization in order to go from one star system to another, that there's no possibility that you're going to stay in a physical, materialized form and go from one star system to another that's thousands of light years away. You are, by definition, going to have mastered these transdimensional aspects of not only transportation, but also communication. And when you do that, you've crossed what I call, gone through the crossing point of light. And when you go through the crossing point of light, which is also the crossing point of matter in terms of the speed of electrons in solid matter, you've entered into this multiverse, this transdimensional universe that has within it the astral and etheric components, which is very, very related to the meditative lucid visualization state and the lucid dream state. And this is why, if you understand that and begin to understand the importance of the science of consciousness and the Vedic teachings of consciousness and higher states of consciousness and all the what are called siddhis, S-I-D-D-H-I-S, these abilities or powers that go along with consciousness, such as remote viewing, teleportation, levitation, dematerialization and rematerialization, bilocation. All of these are things that go with the development of states of consciousness, but they are very much related to interstellar civilizations' technologies, because in order for them to even exist as a trans-dimensional and interstellar civilization, they have had to fully understand what we're discussing here today.